So what is the next big programming language? There have been many in the past, old languages like binary, assembly, and C. Well, what is the next big one going to be in the future? Surely there are going to be more languages, so what is the next big one? Well, that's what this video is all about. My name is Jameson Saunders. If you like videos like this, remember to subscribe, and let's get right into the content. So in order to figure this out, I want to use the past in order to make an educated guess about the future. So back in the 1950s, this is when programming languages were starting to develop. We had assembly, autocode, IPL, a whole bunch of them, Fortran. And you can see here it says a lot of them are forerunners, or they led to another language. And we're going to see this pattern a lot. For instance, the third language on the list, 1954, IPL led to Lisp, okay? And then in 1958, Lisp was created. So you can see here that as we go through the years, there are languages that are forerunners to other languages. So in the 1960s, we have CPL, which is a forerunner to C. All right, and then in the 1970s, we actually have C developed in 1972. So the languages are kind of building upon each other, Sometimes they diverge out, and they're nothing to do with each other. Like SQL is nothing like C, but, it was still developed in the 1970s. In the 1980s, another development upon C was released, C++. In 1980, we got Objective-C in 1986, so that's another variation of C. 1990s, Python released in 1991, so tons of different languages. We have Java and JavaScript in 1995. Then in the 1990s, we have Python, 1991, we have R, Ruby, Java, JavaScript, PHP, all in 1995. And the languages are getting better and better. That's why you don't see a lot of people writing in C anymore, because it's a lot easier to write in one of its more evolved forms like C++ or C#, or something else entirely like JavaScript. Then in the 2000s, we start to see things like C#, Scratch, Scala, F#, which I had never heard of before making this video. But you can see people are just trying out all these different things, different theories they have on what would make a better language, based on what they've seen in the past and what problems it has, and just trying to make something better for the future. Then finally, in the most recent decade with the 2010s, we have Rust, Dart, Elixir, Julia, TypeScript, Swift. Alright, my favorite on the list is TypeScript, as you can probably tell. TypeScript is an evolution of JavaScript, adding on some extra bells and whistles to make it function better, specifically adding types so that you could know what type of data you were dealing with your variables. And then Swift is an evolution of Objective-C, which itself is an evolution of C. So does this process look familiar at all to you? It should, hopefully, because I just keep using the word evolution or led to or as the precursor of, words like that. I've been alluding to the book On the Origin of Species by Charles Darwin, and the basic idea of this book is that species have random variation when they create offspring. So each of the offspring have some sort of random variation that's signified by the branches out here on the diagram. And each of these offspring might have a better chance at surviving in the environment than the predecessor did, and so they might survive better and reproduce more and make more offspring. So the basic rule is that the species that are the most suitable for the environment, those are the ones that are going to survive. And as far as programming languages go, that means the languages that are the most suitable to us as human beings, as programmers, those are the ones that are going to get used the most, and that people are going to take the most ideas from and create, offspring languages from. Like C was very popular, and it branched off Objective-C, C++, C#. And so with programming languages, the ones that are used the most, those are the ones that pass on their genes, so to say. And what makes us use a programming language? Well, as human beings, as programmers, we are lazy. We like to do the least amount of work possible and get the most results. That's just the way human beings are wired. And that's just so that we don't burn energy, wasting energy. That itself has come from evolution, I believe. And evolution works in small steps. So even though C is kind of a direct translation of assembly, like they're kind of one-to-one, it took us a long time to figure that out. We had to make a lot of incremental steps in order to get there. And so similarly, what we can expect in the future is small steps from where we already are. So the most popular languages of today, like C#, Python, TypeScript, these languages are going to have small incremental improvements. That is my prediction. So the next big programming languages will likely be variations of the current ones that make our lives easier. And these are going to be small variations, no huge leaps, because we can't really think that far ahead. We have an idea of our current situation, and we can kind of branch out and think about, how it could be a little bit better, but really we can't make too big of a leap. That's just the way evolution works. And that's it, just some ideas of mine on what the next big programming languages will be. I think they'll just be easier versions of what we already have, probably with some automation in there, some code generation. That would be super nice. But we'll see. Fingers crossed for that one. Thanks for watching, everyone. My name is Jameson Saunders. If you like videos like this, remember to subscribe. And also, if you just have any other ideas for videos you want to see in the future, let me know in the comments below, and I'll take a look and, maybe do the most popular ones. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.